Hello, you guys are joining us for qualifying in Suwon right now. There's about 6 minutes 30 seconds left. We have Alex in P1 with 7 just behind, with a 2-minute lap each of them. And there's Hawkbase in P3 with a 2-minute 1-second lap. How are you feeling, RCS?
Hey, we're doing great today, Faxalan, as we are actually gearing up for what could be the first wet race in GT3. And like what you have said, we are witnessing Uprise having P1 temporary pole position for this qualifying round. We have like 6 minutes left, and we're about to gear up for an exciting race.
Yes, we are. As we see right now, AJ Capadonna has set a purple second sector and he's about to finish his lap. He's going through the final few corners right now. I wonder if he's gonna improve enough to be able to land the car on pole currently. He just gets beaten by Blue Sonic right there. But is he going to improve? Yes, he does. He moves up to P2
Oh,
right now. Both uprise cars, 1 and 2.
1-2 indeed. That's just about a tenth of a second, a bit slower than his
His
teammate.
team.
That's
Yeah.
Alexino, and this is gonna be exciting. Last time, Fexelan, we had KR Racing on the podium, and now temporarily we have these two uprise drivers on temporary pole position. Now this could be exciting indeed.
Yeah, we could see a shift in dominance between these two teams. I wonder how they will do in the race, considering most of the teams don't have data in the wet tires. And
Ooh.
yeah, it should be quite interesting. We see Hawkbase and Blue Sonic, both of them meme racing cars, P4 and P5. So Uprise and Meme Racing are basically sister teams, which is telling you those two sister teams are so far doing better than the KR sister teams in qualifying. I wonder if they're just better in Korea or KR teams are taking longer than expected to set a good lap.
Well, we may never know, Fexelan, because right now, if you can see, we have Seva, one of the KR drivers, and P3 sandwiched in between the two sister teams. So
Yeah.
it could be possibly the KR Racing might be planning to give their all at the final portions of qualifying, or they might not as well just be good in Korea after all.
Yeah, and as you can see on the top right, I'm not sure if you guys can see it on stream, but the track water is currently at 5%, which means these drivers are not driving with the same grip levels they had in all the FP sessions. And I wonder if any of them changed their wing setups, their air setups, just for this fact.
Right now, at least 5% of water. That means the slightest bit of setup changes can do
Yeah,
the trick right now.
yeah,
That is right
exactly.
indeed, Fexelan.
So yeah, we have about 3 minutes 30 seconds left as Teva crosses the line. He doesn't improve his lap time, and that's Epic
Oh!
Noob who moves up to P3 in the Tree Spirit, and his teammate Priest
Oh!
Goat goes into
Oh,
P.
wait!
He takes
It's 3
P3.
4!
Yeah, he takes P3 from him. Tree Spirit 3 and 4. That's quite interesting. Most of
Wow!
the teams are together right now.
And to add on to that, Fexelan, last time we had the third wheel on one of the forerunners of the French Grand Prix. This means that Tri-Spirit could possibly have another comeback for the Korean Grand Prix. This is great.
Yes.
P3 and P4 right now is an astonishing sight. Oh,
What
I think
happened?
someone fell.
Oh, okay. But we see Lolfan Greg in P11 improving in his first sector. He's starting his second sector. Goes very wide there. I think he just went or barely missed the sausage curves right there. He's going through the S's up the hill. And I'm getting
Oh.
a lot of vision lag, but I think he's doing well so far. He's accompanied by Seva, and he's going through the hairpin. The hairpin actually you can easily cut without getting a corner cut. So I hope none of the drivers do that. We should probably keep an eye on that. But
It's
yes,
gonna be, yeah.
Greg is doing well. He improved the first sector. I wonder if he improves the second sector though.
Let's see. Almost there. Oh,
Oh,
that's a
he's not.
yellow sector
Yeah.
right there.
Hopefully
Unfortunate
he
stuff.
improved in the first one enough to be able to get a better lap time. Currently in P11. If he improves by 4/100ths only, he gets P10.
Ah, that could be a possible case there. We would like to see the Crake racing team possibly get some points during the racing session later on. But right now we're still in a 5% of water, people, and the average time that we're seeing here is about 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 2 seconds. So that's quite an immense gap. Not exactly immense, but that's like a close gap between the drivers. But the positions are wide. So right
Yeah,
now we're just waiting.
exactly. There's
Mm-hmm.
different groups on the grid. As you can see, the top six between them, there's only 4 tenths, and then the gaps get even bigger and bigger. As you can see, both the KR teams, the sister teams, there's Seva in the Alpha one and Eric in the Beta one, or I think it's the other way around. They're P5 and P6 right now. Epic's still in P10 and Garrett in P17. So Garrett needs to get up the pace and be able to set a lap. Only 45 seconds left.
41 seconds now as we are gearing up for the final portions of qualifying session, Fexalan. This could be a uprise 1-2. And later on during the session, we might be seeing a strategy comeback by the KR racing team. Or
Yeah,
maybe not. We may not know yet.
the KR team's strength is their strategy, so we might be able to see it during the feature race, but most of the teams are going blind into the both the races in terms of the tire data since they had no
Mm-hmm.
practice on the tires and it's going to be raining and most of the drivers haven't even driven on the rain. As qualifying comes to
Oh.
an end, I don't think any drivers have just started their lap, and as we see a Vexala, I think that's Bomboclat about to finish his lap. He doesn't improve.
Oh.
He's starting in P20. The brand star
P20.
Vibe Plum is starting P15 right there. That's quite low considering he was running the top 5 in the last race, I believe, in the sprint race
Oh.
especially. But
Dang.
yeah,
That
that
has
must
to be. Yeah, that has to be quite a gonna. That's gonna be a great opportunity for the other teams to capitalize on those positions lost.
Yeah, exactly. Jake has his teammate about to finish his lap in the Brand Star. He's improved his second sector. His first sector was a yellow. I wonder if he's gonna improve enough to improve his. No, he doesn't. He doesn't change his lap time, and he stays NP11.
Too close for comfort there. If JCast was able to improve on
That's
the lap,
Organis.
could be
Organis
points.
moves all the way to P2
Oh!
and splits the uprise cars. It was gonna be same row for teammates for the top 8, but Organis just ruined that and he moves up to P2, about five
Wow.
100s behind P1. Quite impressive.
That that was really insane, Faxaland. Just imagine this. Last time at the French Grand Prix, Agnes was P3, I believe, and now zolting up to P2 for the Korean Grand Prix means that Agnes is in a great position to get that slipstream on Alex Sino and possibly get P1.
Yeah, it does. It should be quite interesting. The sprint race, as you know, it's gonna be collide with the rain. It's gonna be chaos. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited.
Really excited indeed because we are going to be seeing a lot of action in when the rain starts to pour down. There could be drivers slipping off track, or there could also be possible DNFs. We may not know. Rain is a new thing here for GT3, and we're about to see how that will unfold today.
Yes, we will. But currently, we're just gonna wait for all the drivers to finish their laps. I don't think anyone else is on a lap. As we see Alex in on the uprise P1, his teammate in P3, Organis takes P2 for his team. Breezy and Epic Noob take P4 and P5 in the Tree Spirit, while Seva takes P6 for the KR Beta team, and Eric takes P7 for the KR Alpha team. Hawkbase and Blue Sonic Gem take P8 and P9 for Meme Racing, while Epic Brother takes P10 for the KR Alpha team. JCast takes P11 for Brandstar. LOL Fun Greg takes P12 for Craig, and so on. The sprint race is gonna be 7 laps. It says the
7
forecast.
laps.
Yeah, the forecast for the sprint race is 5% rain at the start, and
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna end around 20%. I don't think 20% justifies you pitching for the wets, but we will see.
Oh, this is gonna be exciting indeed, Faxalan, because right now we're having a bit of a drizzle of rain, and then later on during the session, once we see the rainfall begin to increase and become much more worse, that's gonna be a tough day for the drivers right now.
Yes, it will. Okay, I'm gonna do the intro now.
All right.
Hello and welcome to the second round of the third GT3 season in Ion. Uh, we are currently in Suwon, South Korea, one of the longest tracks on the calendar, which one of the most challenging surfaces to deal with. We have blind corners, bumps, and we will be getting our first rain race in GT3 ever. Today we will be witnessing surely one of the most interesting races in terms of
Yes, indeed.
Are you
Right now we're
excited
just
for
watching
this?
the intro. All right. Okay, so hey there everyone, my name is Arceus and I will be with Fexalan today for the Korean Grand Prix. How's it going, Fexalan?
It's going well. I'm very excited for this, man. I've never seen a GT3 wet race, and most of the drivers don't even have proper practice in like 20% or higher rain. So it should be quite
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Gonna be really interesting indeed, and right now, we're still at 5%. So everything's quite easy peasy, like a cakewalk in the beginning. And oh, I think there's
Yeah,
gonna be a lot of action later on today.
yeah, they're restarting the server because the server has been running for quite a long time, mainly because the Expo practice is 24 hours long, and it's also done in the same place we do the GT3 races. So they're gonna restart the server because it's been running for around 24 hours, just to avoid any issues like the ones we had in Formula 1 and Formula 2, of course.
Oh, hopefully not, please. Hopefully not. Okay, so we're gearing up for the sprint race today, and we are seeing a unique, let's say, unique positions for P1, 2, and 3, because last time we had another set of drivers gearing up for the forerunners of the race. Today, we have a different set of first runners.
Yes, we do. Okay, I have joined the game right now. I just need to go back to the commentating box. I see all the drivers spawning their cars. Most of the drivers were barely running any air on the cars. They were running like 1-1, 1-2. Mainly because there's
Oh,
a very long straight on this track, and you can gain a lot of time if you have more top speed than others. And I personally experienced that in F2. Just by getting slipstream, I was improving by like a second or half a second on the straight alone, which is quite
oh,
OP in my opinion.
that's great to hear, huh, Fexalan? Your experience in F2 is astonishing indeed. Actually, one of the corners that people have to be careful of is the one leading to the second sector, because there's this huge elevation change that could begin a series of sudden slips by the drivers, and they don't want to run off into any unnecessary off-track maneuvers because they don't want to go DNF, of course. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
about it.
You can't exactly DNF in GT3 cars, but we might see some drivers just give up, or you can actually get stuck on the curbs, which is what happened to me in F2
Hmm.
in the sprint race. But yeah, let's
Oh.
hope that doesn't happen to any of the drivers today, and let's hope we can have some clean and fun racing.
Oh, yes, indeed. But by clean, we are not sure if that's gonna be the case if rain starts to pour down. And remember, people, that this is gonna be the first Grand Prix that might be wet. And about 20% of rainfall will be arriving today expectantly because that's gonna be the situations here in Suwon. And that means there might be a series of strategy calls and perhaps amazing action on track.
Exactly. The sprint race forecast has said it's going to be 5% to 20%. but the feature rate is gonna be higher. I believe it's gonna be around 65% and might go lower towards the end, which is gonna require drivers to pitch for the wet tires, and that should be quite interesting.
Wow, 60% during the feature race. So, man, that means we're going to be expecting at least more than 2 minutes of lap times. That's going to be
Yeah.
exciting indeed.
Yeah, it will be quite exciting. I honestly can't wait until they get this race going. I don't know what we're waiting for. Fasta is back in game. B guys is on his account for some reason.
Hmm.
But yeah, the drivers are still in the garages, and we're just waiting for everyone to get ready.
Yes, indeed. And perhaps it might be a great time for us to just chill down and wait before the race begins. Because this race, I'm sure of it, would be exciting and filled with non-stop action, especially during the feature race, Vexland.
Yeah, it will be. I honestly can't wait. Why is it taking so long? You can see all the engineers sitting there in their little engineering boxes. But
Oh,
yeah,
they
South
must
Korea
be
is
gearing up.
one of the most interesting tracks. I really like the look of South Korea. The only issue I have with it, and that's the issue most of the drivers have with it, is the bumps. The bumps are quite brutal. I think
Yes,
I think the
yes,
most
indeed.
Oh, the drivers are lining up. But yeah, one of the most or the most notable bumps on this track are during turn one, around the end of turn one, there's a small
Mm-hmm,
bump that
yes,
you touch. And if you're steering
exactly.
while going through that bump, you easily lose the rear. You might be
I
spinning around.
know.
I spun around many times there. And just before the uphill corner, or on the
Mm-hmm.
uphill, just before it's on the S's, there's another bump there that has sent F1 cars flying and surely GT3 cars spinning around, which is gonna be quite exciting if it happens here. But yeah,
That is right.
see some drivers going on the soft tires. I wonder
Oh,
what the
going
strategy is
soft.
gonna look like. Yeah, I wonder if they're thinking start on the softs and when the rain goes higher, pitch for the wets. Because if you didn't know, the GT3 cars only have the wet tire compound. They don't have
Mm-hmm.
inters or anything of the sort,
Oh,
which is gonna be
wow.
interesting to be honest. But yeah,
Yes, indeed.
I see the KR cars on the softs, so I wonder if they're considering a pit stop or if the softs last for that long. I actually heard that the hards don't even last 11 proper laps. So I don't think
Oh,
the softs last that long as well.
all right. Now I guess they have to go and focus on their luck and skill prowess on track because without intermediate tires, and just take note that 5% to 20% is the ideal for intermediate tires. The drivers need to really handle their tires well for this race. If you're gonna go on softs, man, you gotta make sure you handle yourself on track properly because if you go off the track, hit those sausage curbs, that could be the end of your day.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, the inters actually only work above 20% and under 50%. The wet tires work above 50%. But I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
if that's the case for the GT3 cars. I've never seen the GT3 cars wet tires, and they could be different from whatever we've witnessed before. But yeah, you can see Alexino lining up in P1, which Ogan is just behind him. Both the
Mm-hmm.
upright cars, both of them on the softs, while both the three spirits on the hards as well as Oganus on the hards, and all the KR cards, all four of them except Garrett, are on softs. Garrett is on hards, of course. JCAS on softs, Greg on hard. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of different strategies right here. And I believe if
Oh.
you're running the softs and considering a pit stop, you're obviously going to be considering lower fuel for the start because you can pitch for fuel in GT3 in this season, of course.
That is right indeed. And this is gonna be what do you call this? It's gonna be a master full of shenanigans for this
Yeah,
race.
it will be indeed. I'm quite excited. But the Vexala cars on the hards as well. The
Oh,
strategies are looking different and they should be quite interesting.
and also just to mention, the liveries are very beautiful in these GT3 vehicles. We have a plethora of different color combinations. We got blue, green, red, orange, and even a combination of purple and green. That's making this grid really colorful and vibrant today, especially in the sunlight.
Yeah, this track is already beautiful enough, and with these beautiful cars and colorful cars as well, it just makes it better.
Yes, indeed. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're just gearing up for the beginning of the sprint race. In a few moments' time, we will be having the formation lap before the race goes underway.
Yes, those drivers need to take care of the tires and most importantly their fuel, depending on what kind of strategy they're on.
All right.
But
But
yeah,
for a moment there.
let's confirm the fuel tier theory. Let's see, Epic Brother, what's his number? 66, I believe. Let's see what kind of fuel he's on. That's Epic Brother, 36% fuel. So it's obviously lower than 50%. Oh wait, watch lights already. No formation lap then. We have 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, five
All
lights,
right.
and lights out and away we go. Organis gets a slower start than the leader Alexino. Alexino moves to the right, trying to get the better line as they go into turn one. A lot of cars going into turn one right there. Alexino is holding the lead, I believe, which Ogan is chasing him down. And that's both the three Spirit cars moving up to P3 and P4, I believe. They're on the hards, while Alexino is on the soft. So that's quite interesting. They have decent pace on those tires as Alexino goes into turn 3. He's going on the straight right now. Almost loses the rear right there and moves to the right hand side of the straight. He's given slipstream to nobody as he gets chasing down by Organis and everyone else. Obviously, you avoid giving the slipstream because slipstream on this straight is very OP and it gives a lot of speed. But yeah, I think Organis is fighting for the lead. He's about 7 tenths behind Alexino in P1 and 5 tenths behind is Alexino's teammate in the other uprise car.
Right now, as we can see, we have Alexino keeping that pole position right there, nice and steady as they proceed into this uphill position. As Agnes now is just about, let's say, 7 tenths off of Alexino, but that does not stop Agnes from possibly overtaking Alexino right here past this hard braking zone. Let us see, this might be the spot where Agnes takes that P1 in this race, but I guess Alexino keeps that position nice and proper right there, keeping P1 in his grasp as we have an 8-tenth gap between Agnes and Alexino right there in Epic Noob on P3 in the Tri-Spirit. This is quite a good position for the Tri-Spirit outfit as they are close enough to the Toyota advent of Agnes and then afterwards, of course, the Uprise Motorsports of Alexino.
Organis actually lost the car just after crossing the second sector line and he spun around. So he lost a bunch of positions and I saw just before that, one of the KR cars went very wide and had to take the escape road to avoid obviously the sausage curves to avoid getting stuck or flipping or whatever. But currently Seva is in P2 right now, 8 tenths behind Alexino. AJ Capadona in the other uprise car started P3. He's all the way down in P6 right now. Organis started P2. He's all the way down in P8 right now. GDM fan
Yes.
moved up to P7. I'm not sure where he started. I believe he started around P3. Hold on, let me confirm. Yeah, TDM fan started P13. He's P7 right now, so he's doing quite well for his team. And his teammate Blue Sonic Jim in P9, so decent points for the team. But yeah, they're about to cross the first sector line. Alexino in the lead, 1.5 seconds ahead of Seva. Just remember, both of these guys are on the same tire compound and a huge pace difference.
Oh, yes, indeed, Fexland. But as you can see here, we have Alexino going up the uphill straight again. That is quite an amazing defense there by Alexino, as we have Seva charging in on P2, followed by Eric Heppery in the sister KR outfit. This is gonna be insane. We're still in lap 2. Imagine this. And we're already seeing a lot of overtaking, this evasive maneuvers. But we have to appreciate that skill, the tenacity that Alexino has to remain in P1, followed by the KR racing drivers.
Yeah, the reason the drivers are pushing as hard as they can right now, as the rain moves up to 10%, but the reason they're pushing, because on lap 3, as soon as they cross the line right now, I believe collisions are gonna be turned on, and whatever position you're on, you're probably gonna finish there if nothing spectacular happens, obviously, because collisions make the race harder. You can collide into other cars, and with the vision lag, you're obviously avoiding the line of the car ahead of you to avoid them teleporting just near you and you crashing into
No.
them, of course.
Oh no, indeed. Oh, seems like Seba just snatches the fastest lap of the race. Imagine that the gap between Seba and Alexino earlier is just 9 hundredths of a second. This could possibly mean that Seba might be in P1, I believe, or we're not sure yet. There's a lot of vision lag, but I
Eno
think
spin.
there is a spin by Alexino. Oh no! That loses a lot of positions for this driver.
Yeah, and collisions have been turned on. It seems I don't see any crashes yet as all the drivers go into turn 3 right now. Eric Perry just behind AJ Capadona. Seva takes P1, obviously. Alexino falls down in position. I believe he's around P6 or somewhere around there. But yeah, it seems as if there's the drivers are scattered all around the track, and that's a crate car. Or no, that's a Hoshi Shiragon car. That's Big Boy who just spun around after turn 3 on the straight. He was being dragged by a bunch of... Oh no, what's that? Somebody who just
Ooh.
went into the sky. What? That's a
Oh
fleet car
no!
who just
We have
went into
spins
the
right
sky.
now! This
And
is
the water...
insane! Just take a look at the midfield! At least about P14, P12, P13. The positions are a lot of cars that have spun and gone off track. This is quite immense, intense for this Grand Prix, and we're still lap 3. And remember, people, collisions have been set on. Man, this is really, really amazing.
Yeah, we see both the Hoshi Shiragon cars running towards the back of the field as one of them crashes into a Valor. The Valor goes very wide and almost loses it, but believe they managed to save it. As we go back and watch the leaders, AJ Capadona moving up to P2. I believe he was in P3 earlier. Epic Brother lost a lot of positions, so I believe he crashed as well, which is quite unfortunate as he was doing so well before.
Just imagine this. If we go to P8 right now, we're seeing Lolfun Greg in the
Oh,
correct
that's
racing,
me!
finally in the points.
Space Ghost in the Tree Spirit being spun around. He was P4, and I think he just lost either 3 or 2 positions right there. He was dragged and spun around by other cars. Yeah, he's gonna be
Oh.
P8 right now, just behind the crake of Greg.
Alright, that means Greg zolts up to P7. And right now, if we go back to the front runners in P1 to P2, we're having Seva, another reminiscent of his performance last time in the French Grand Prix, now gets that P1 position, lap 4 of the race, followed by the uprise of Capadona. This is a 2.7 gap between the two drivers. This could possibly mean that Seva might come home to win the sprint race, but we may never know. We're still in lap 4.
Yeah, and as you can see on the long straight, he's avoiding giving the slipstream to AJ Capadona as much as possible to avoid AJ Capadona catching up to him and fighting him for position, and possibly both of them making a mistake and falling all the way down in positions. The track water is at 15% right now, so the drivers should be
Oh!
experiencing less and less grip. They're gonna be braking earlier. They're gonna be nicer on the tires, of course. On the rain, the tires actually wear out faster, so I think maybe that's why some of the drivers are on the hards while some of the others are on the softs.
That is quite a good insight right there, Faxelan. As we can see, despite 15% of rainwater and everybody let's say most of the drivers in the front are running the soft tires, Seva is still maintaining that gap, about 3.8 seconds now to Capadona. That is amazing maneuvers and driving by the KR driver.
Yeah, Seva's tires are on 89% right now, which means they're gonna be fine on finishing this race. His fuel looks good as well. He's not gonna be pitting anytime soon. He's running a 1-1 setup though, which is quite interesting. He has the lowest aero possible, which means he has the best top speed on the straight, but he obviously has the least grip out of all the other cars.
I see indeed. But if we actually focus our attention to P3 with Eric Capri
No.
in the system. Oh, what
AJ
happened?
Capadona actually just went on the grass. He's being challenged by Eric. I think he just got passed by Eric. They're quite close together. Yeah, he's side by side by Eric as they're going into turn 3 right now, and Eric takes the position from him, and AJ is gonna be behind him trying to take back P2, but he's in P3
Oh.
right now.
All right, that's quite a good switcheroo by the two drivers. As we can see, we're now approaching sector 2 rather, and there has been, oh no, I think there's an issue between chat filter. Hopefully there will be no lag problems.
Yeah, there seems to be a bit of lag in the server, but so far we've seen no issues. But a comeback we didn't expect is Organis, who started P2. He fell all the way down to P8 or somewhere around there because of a
Mm-hmm.
mistake in the second sector. And now he moves up to P4, only 14 seconds behind the lead, and about uh, 5, how many seconds is that? That's about 7 seconds behind AJ Capadonna, which is quite interesting.
Oh.
He's doing quite well for his team.
And just imagine this, Vexland. If we could trace back ourselves back to the French Grand Prix, Augenis had a masterclass of pit stop strategies that caused Augenis to go up to P3 after what could be a horrendous race for the driver. Now, we're seeing that same thing again, but now we have Augenis in P4. This could possibly mean that later on in the feature race, there could be a miracle happening for Toyota Advan.
Yeah, indeed. I see Ogan is really struggling on the grip of his tires. He went wide. He's touching all the sausage curves and he's losing the rear after every corner and has to adjust. Although those adjustments makes for some very nice drifts.
Oh no, Korea might be a Tokyo Drift, or let's say a Korean Drift, as we are now. Imagine this, Vexeland, 20% of rainwater. Now, I don't really see any rainfall, but figuratively, let us imagine that there's rain.
Yeah, it's dry rain. You can't really see it. But yeah, we're starting on 20% for the future race though, which is gonna be much more fun and it's gonna be interesting
Yes,
what
indeed.
tires they're gonna start. The strategy I'm really thinking the drivers are gonna be on for the future race is gonna start on the softs and probably pitch for the wets. That's the most obvious strategy. But I wonder if any of the other teams are gonna try a different strat or maybe a riskier strategy to get better rewards, of course.
Oh, better rewards means podium chances. That'll be great. Though podium winners, by the way, will be getting a taste of rose water, compliments of Suwon Circuit. But right now, people, we are witnessing another amazing maneuver by Seva because the gap between him and Eric Capri is now 8.7 seconds. Faxalan, what are your thoughts on this immense gap?
Yeah, Seva just has insane pace in GT3 cars, and obviously he has pace in all kind of cars in Ion. But yeah, he's showing how great he is in GT3. And Eric, he won the championship last season, and he can't even keep up with Seva. So I think we have a good prediction for who the winner of this championship will be, if we don't jinx it, of course.
Oh, let's not jinx this because right now rainwater is in 25%. We're just expecting at least 20%, but now it's going up to 25% right now. And now it's lap 6. That means we're almost done with the sprint race. And I think you're right, Fexelan. I do think that Seba might come home to win the sprint race today.
Yeah, no pit stops as well, but I see a lot of drivers really struggling on the grip, especially Bombo Clutch, who's drifting into every corner right now. We should
Oh.
probably, yeah, we're spectating right now, and the driver behind him, that Space Ghost, he almost went into the wall, he losing the rear
Oh.
right there. But yeah, all the drivers are really struggling for grip, and Bombo Clutch is fighting and defending to keep his P5 position and getting very tasty points for his team, Vexala, of course. But Tree Spears, oh no, that's Space Ghost who gets a better exit. He's going on the left side, trying to overtake from the outside into turn 1.
Oh.
But Bomoclad defends the inside and goes wide into the corner. I
Oh.
wonder if Space Ghost is gonna collide into him as they're on the final lap of the race. That's JCast in the back who's spinning around. He almost spun around there going into turn 2. He's obviously struggling for grip. He's on the softs, and the softs are gonna be dead around this time of the race.
And just oh wait, I mean, the moment that you said that softs would be, let's say, dead around this time of the race, I don't think that the front runners, I'm talking about KR Racing, are having any problems with that tire wear. Sever right now is maintaining that 8.7 gap. If we go back to the P1 and P2 positions, this is insane. That's what we call amazing tire management.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about tire preservation, and Seva has done a great job at keeping his tires in line. For example, Seva's tires are on 80%, while Alexino's tires are on around 75%. So the tire grip difference is gonna be there's an effect on that, of course, because yeah, Seva does an amazing job at saving his tires. Obviously, if you spun around, if you crash into someone, that obviously wears out your tires. That's why you see one of
Mhm.
the drivers who made mistakes probably struggle for grip even more. And if you spin, you lose more tire wear on the rear, and that just it's basically a feedback loop that keeps on giving you more tire wear, and you just can't even finish the race sometimes. With Seva on the final sector of the final lap in the sprint race.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have Seva crossing the line to win the sprint race for the Korean Grand Prix. KR Racing brings home the victory for the first half of the session tonight.
Yeah, he does. And Eric, his teammate, or not his teammate, but his sister teammate, he gets the P2 position, while AJ Capadona, who started P1, finishes Oh no, he started P3 and finishes P3. As we saw, he moved all the way down to P10 or around that, somewhere around there, and he managed to bring it back and move all the way back to P3 and get himself a podium. Organis obviously made a mistake at the start of the race and gets P4, very nice points, but he doesn't manage to get the podium positions, and Bubble Clash manages to defend his position and gets P5, and Space Ghost gets is 10 seconds behind, so something must have happened on that final lap, as we see the KR cars doing donuts, all of the KR cars doing donuts just
Donuts.
after, just before turn 1.
Just well deserving indeed by the KR drivers. But like what we have seen at the beginning of the race, Faxland, there has been a switcheroo of events. Earlier, the KR racing drivers, they were not anywhere close to P1 and P2. I believe they're around P4, P5, or even P6. But like I said, they possibly had strategy calls sometime before the race that caused them to bring home the victory for the sprint race.
Yeah, exactly. It was an intense race. We didn't see any pit stops, but we're gonna surely see some pit stops during the feature race, of course. If you didn't know,
Oh.
the grid for the feature race is decided by the sprint race. It's gonna be reverse grid for the top 10, and whatever you finish in for the other drivers below top 10. So Epic Noob for Tree Spirit is gonna be starting in P1, while Viplummy gets started in P2, Epic Brother P3, JCast P4, Space Ghost P5, Bombo Clash P6, Organis P7, AJ Capadona P8, Eric P9, Seva P10, and the other drivers where they finish, they're gonna be starting there.
That's right. We are gonna be witnessing a reverse grid strategy. Oh, not exactly strategy. A reverse grid parking parking later on for the feature race. But last time, Faxalan, if we could remember the French Grand Prix, this almost had the same exact scenario wherein the KR drivers were in top 10 and top 9 for the reverse grid. But what happened by the end of the race? KR Racing brought home a KR podium celebration. So that could be the case today, but we might see an amazing strategy call by one of these teams that could possibly snatch away the P1, P2, and P3 spots from KR Racing.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be quite interesting. In the last sprint race, the KR teams got a P1, 1, 2, 3. In the feature race, they got a P1, of course. So I wonder if they're gonna do better this sprint race and maybe get even more points. It's all about strategy this time, and the rain is obviously gonna be more intense. As you see on the top of the screen, it says feature race forecast 25%. Then it's gonna go around 65%, and they're gonna finish on 20%. So the race strategy needs to be decided ASAP, and the engineers need to find the best strategy possible. But I think it's just gonna be a guess from most of the teams since no one has any data.
Oh, yes, indeed. The data that all teams have gathered today would be extremely crucial for future wet races. At least they now know when to pit and when not to pit using the wet tires. But right now, I think we are about to wait for the feature race to commence later on. And later on, people, we're going to be seeing more rainfall, more of that wet race action happening tonight. Because we will, I don't know, we'll be seeing more action.
Yeah, we have an expo race around just after this GT3 race, of course, as we see some drivers. I believe that's Organist lining up his grid position, and the brands are right there. As the car of Organist almost loses the rear just by going straight. So that tells you how hard it's gonna be driving on this track water on the slick tire. So I wonder, yeah, I believe some drivers are gonna start on the wets. So yeah, that should be interesting. That's JCast starting in P4 right there. He's on the wets right now.
Oh, seems like there is the beginning of strategy calls in this race. Some are attempting to start with wet tires. I think that might not exactly be useful at the start of the race, but it's always a gamble to try something new. We have seen a
Yeah.
lot of gambles by the real life F1 teams. We're talking about Mercedes doing that strategy pit stop before Red Bull did in Spain 2021. So possibly starting with wet tires for the drivers in this race with just 25% of rainfall means there could be a gamble happening.
I believe all the drivers or the popular option right now is to go on the wet. So I wonder if the drivers driving in the sprint race experienced what the grip was like in those tires on the rain and are thinking we should go on the wets for right now because I can't handle that type of a grip level. But they need to keep in mind that in the sprint race around the end when the weather or the rain went all the way up to 25%. They were on worn out tires, so that might have explained the grip loss even more, but you never know. Maybe they just can't handle that type of track water. Basically, no one knows, to be honest.
Indeed, I can't even tell what might happen later on. But possibly putting in wet tires could mean a great miracle around the middle part of the race because that's when the rainfall will start to pour even harder on these drivers.
Yeah, indeed. So it's gonna be a 22 lap race as we see Epic Brother doing a different strategy. He's on the softs. Same with Vi Plummy. I see someone on the hards, but the soft strategy I somewhat understand because the range should be going higher anytime soon. So if you go on softs, you utilize the softs to the maximum potential. Then you pitch for the wets whenever that happens. The people who started on the wets are gonna have worn out wet tires, while the others
Mm-hmm.
are gonna have new wet tires, and they're probably gonna have a better gap because they started on the softs. Although they need to remember if they're on wets and this isn't the best window for the wets, so it's on 25% right now. If this isn't the best window for the wets are gonna wear out much faster and they're gonna struggle for grip. So yeah, they really need to think about their strategy calls right now.
That is correct, Vexelan. And it could actually go one or two ways. Starting with wets might help out by, let's say, throughout the race, or it could actually be a burden for the drivers. What if rainfall actually becomes harder around the later parts of the race, not in the beginning parts of the race? That could possibly mean a strategy fail. But if let's say the other drivers that opted for hard tires or let's say soft tires at the start of the race could have a possible advantage near the end of the race when rainfall starts to peep in. So it could actually go one or two ways, fail or not.
Yeah, whatever happens, this race will be quite interesting. I saw some drivers on the hards. That honestly, I can't quite understand. Only if they think the rain will only get harder around lap 10, 11, maybe somewhere around there. If they think the rain will be harder midway, then that makes sense. But I really think the rain is gonna be getting stronger before that. But yeah, most of the drivers on the wets, I see that's one, who's that? How to not basically is his name. He's on the softs. Lolman on the softs. Danny, his teammate on the softs. That's a fleet car on the hards. That's quite interesting. But
Oh,
it
I
seems
see.
most, yeah, most of the grid is on the wets. That's Alexino starting in P23. So he started P1 in the sprint race and he finished P23. It must have been an awful sprint race for him.
That's true, but if other drivers are going for hards, there are also drivers going for softs, Pexelan. And it's about 25% of rainfall right now. So then again, strategy calls are everything for a possible podium win today. So we may never know. Starting with softs might help out in the end because that gives you a chance to, like what you said, pit in for wet tires around the middle or final parts of the race. But then again, if you start with wet tires, this could give you an advantage if rainfall drops early in the race. So we may never know until we actually begin today's race.
Yeah, exactly. TDM fan still hasn't oh no, he's lining up right now and we're missing a driver in P7. I believe that's JCast. So he was lined up on the wait, no. Oh yeah, that's reverse grid. Never mind. I think Bombo Clash and Breezy is they're fighting for position right now. They're figuring out where they're gonna start. But yeah, most of the drivers are on the grid already. They're getting ready for this race. Epic Noob in P1, he's on the softs. Yeah,
Amazing.
the three front runners right now are all on the softs, which is quite interesting.
All right. We're gonna see how this reverse grid will play out here in Suwon, Korea. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are just waiting for the race to begin. Perhaps this could be a great time for the teams to communicate with their drivers, tell them the strategies that they have in store for the race, give them their best wishes, send them their warmest regards. We may never know what the teams are talking right now. We might have some teams, talking some strategies to take on later on the race. But right now, it's all about strategy talk
Yes,
because that is what's going to happen.
yeah, something we haven't mentioned yet. We've been talking about tires and pit stops all this time, but we haven't mentioned the fuel levels. And if you take a
Oh,
look at the fuels, that should tell you how the races or the pit stops are going to be. Hold on, I'm getting a call.
mm,
Yeah. But let me check the fuel. For example, Seva is on 40% fuel right now, while I can't check the other data. But yeah, it seems as if Seva is on 40% fuel, so he's obviously going to do at least one pit stop. But it's all about how early that pit stop is going to be. 40% is about enough to get to do half distance. So yeah, he's thinking if he has to do half distance on those soft tires, he's gonna go for it. If he doesn't have to, he's gonna pit for a new wet tires and obviously refuel.
I have something for you, Fexeland. We have 60% of fuel for one of the Toyota drivers, and that is Agnes. Now, remember last time when we had a masterclass pit stop strategy by Toyota Advan in the French Grand Prix? This enabled Agnes to zoom up to P3 near the end of the race. So possibly a late pit stop, the same strategy call that Toyota Advent did last time in the French Grand Prix. If they apply it today in the Korean Grand Prix, depending on the conditions, of course, this might be another podium win for Toyota.
Yeah, I believe they're doing the reverse strategy that the KR and other teams who are starting on the slicks are doing. So basically, they're considering let's start on the wet, let's get to the heavy rain, let's do the best we can on those wet
Mm-hmm.
tires. And once the rain starts going down, let's get ready to go on the slicks and refuel and finish the race, of course. But yeah, all the drivers are ready, the laps are set, and I believe they're ready for this race.
All right, 22 laps. 22 laps of action, Fexeland. Are you excited for today?
Yeah, I am very excited. The most exciting part of this race for me. I may be a nerd, but I'm really excited about the strategies the most and
Oh,
how
all
they will
right.
turn out.
That's great. And considering, there will be much more water later on in the race, we might be seeing a lot of these drivers drifting around the corners. We could be seeing Korean drift, and this is gonna be sick as well. Oh, all right, we have an announcement.
Yeah, it should be 65% by lap 11.
Oh!
I wonder if any of the drivers are gonna reset right now for new tires or if they're just gonna accept their fate. Okay, as
Oh
we're about to
no.
go to the
No
lights.
more chances. It's lights time. Okay, we have 4 lights, 5 lights, people, and we are about to race for the feature race in the Korean Grand Prix as we gear up. Here we go. All the drivers are now beginning. This is going to be action packed as we see Epic on the first place right now, followed by Viplami. This is going to be another exciting venture for these drivers. I think I just saw one of the KR drivers attempting to do an overtake right there, but Epic in the Tri-Spirit GP attempting to defend that position right there. But I think on the outside goes Viplami. Viplami attempts to get an overtake but fails to do so. Epic Noob is now in P1, just defending it right there from the Brand Star as we see more action going on the way for P3, P4, and P5.
Yeah, that was a very good start from Breezy or Space Ghost, who's in P2 right now, I believe. We're gonna wait until they cross the line, but it seems to be a Tree Spirit 1 and 2, as Viplummy is in P4 right there, just behind Eric, and they're gonna be crossing the first sector line. And yeah, it seems that's the order we're getting. Seva all the way in P5. He started P10. He's in P5. He's doing well so far. I wonder if the wet tire drivers are struggling. Yeah, we see a lot of drivers in the back really struggling for grip. I believe, yeah, those are all the wet tire runners. So obviously they made a mistake on the compounds. They're losing the rear everywhere. So obviously this isn't the working window for the wet tires. The soft runners are doing much, much better.
Oh, seems like indeed, like what we have talked about earlier, starting out with the soft tires might be a great time for now because as we can see, it's just 25% of track water. As much as possible, the wet tires are only effective once rainfall is at 50% and above. And that is not exactly a good performance by the drivers running the wet tires now, since they're all having a lot of grip troubles, causing them to drift. Which is actually great to see, drifting cars, amazing.
Yeah, but not too experienced, of course. The top half of the grid is on slicks as Lolman almost spins around on the final few corners, but he managed to save us, of course. But yeah, the top half or the top 13, 14 cars are all on slicks, and
Oh,
all the wet tire runners are near the back. So obviously that was a mistake in terms of strategy, which is must be annoying for the engineers and embarrassing, I'd say. But
oh.
yeah, it's
But at
gonna be a
least
struggle.
those, yeah. Oh, at least those
Champi,
drivers. Oh no, what
yeah,
happened?
Tempe pits, Tempe and another uprise car. I believe that was an uprise. Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, that's AJ Capadonna who go into the pits. They're on wet. I believe they're gonna pit onto the slicks right now, make up as many
Oh,
positions, and then go on the wets when they need to. But yeah, that's quite interesting.
ah, here we go. The first array of pit stops have now commenced. Just lap 2 out of 22 here in the Korean Grand Prix. But we can see here right now, all 3 purple sectors goes to Space Ghost, one of the new drivers for Tri Spirits GP. And we're seeing such an amazing defensive maneuver right there. But the KR Racing of Seva is now in P4, Fexelan, and
Yeah.
is going in fast onto P1.
Yeah, he's doing great. He's chasing down the leaders, of course. I want the drivers that went on the. Wait, is that Seva on the grass? Yeah, I think Seva just went on the grass on the up
Oh
here right there.
no!
But remember, Space Ghost is not new to Ion. He used to be named Breezy Tots. He's a very good GT3 driver. He was even an
Oh,
F1 driver at a certain point. So he's obviously seasoned in terms of GT3 cars. So he's doing well. He's carrying his GT3 team. But yeah, it seems as if there. So the top 6 cars are split by 3.4 seconds, and the next car, which is TDM fan in P7, he's about. I need to wait for the update. No, it's Danny. who's about that's about 8 9 seconds behind Seva. Seva is in P6 and Danny is in P7. That's 8 9 seconds behind them. That's a very big gap between drivers, and that's all because
Oh
some
no.
of them are on the softs while the others are on the wets, and the track water actually went up to 30% right there.
Oh, but you gotta go give it to Space Ghost indeed, Fexland, because Space Ghost defending that P1 spot in just lap 3 of the race is already incredible. And now we have Viplami and the Brand Star just trying to go and capture the P1 spot, but I think there's vision lag right there. Viplami continues to sprint, and now just zero point 0.8 seconds separates Viplami to Space Ghost. Now this could be a chance for Viplami to overtake when the DRS zone actually comes in, but there's no DRS for the GT3 series. There is only Slipstream. Now that distance could possibly mean an overtake by Viplami. What do you think?
Yeah, but if you take a look at the leaderboard, you can see the top half of the leaderboard has yellow sectors, while the bottom half has a lot of green sectors. That tells you the wet
Oh.
tires are starting to work better now that the rain has increased, obviously, which is, yeah, it should be. I wonder if the wet tire cars are gonna start making a comeback, or if the front runners are gonna start splitting. To be honest, the gaps that the front runners on the slicks have made already is enough for them to pit onto the wets and not worry about losing too much time or positions.
No, that is true indeed, but at least going in for the softs at the start of the race would already give you an advantage later on. And just remember, we're still in lap 3 and we're already seeing this action unfold. Right now, at least almost everyone in the front runners are setting yellow sector, as you've said. And we're seeing the bottom runners now having green sectors. Imagine that. They could possibly overtake the ones in front.
Yeah, TDM fan in P10, he's on the hard, so he's thinking he can run the hards until lap 11 and then pitch. But remember, the track water or the rain isn't gonna magically appear on lap 11. Big Guy said it will reach 65% on lap 11. That means it's gonna gradually increase until we reach that point, of course. But we will never know when it will start decreasing again.
Oh, there's a chance that rain could actually decrease. Oh yeah, didn't see that. So
Yeah,
rainfall could go back to 20% after all.
yeah, it will go back to 20% on for the race end, so we might see some drivers consider a pit stop to the softs around the end that they've seen how well the softs do around 25%, of course. So they're gonna consider a pit stop there and get a couple of positions. We're gonna see a lot of mixed races and positions and strategies towards the end, and especially now. Which is, yeah,
Oh.
it's gonna be fun. To be honest, I'm enjoying this race so far. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well.
Oh, same. I actually share the same feelings right there. I really enjoy the race so far, especially seeing the vibrant colors of the car liveries on track. They are really beautiful from far away. If I actually take a look at the TV cameras right now, really amazing seeing all these colors gracing the ground.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that CDM fan taking the escape road on turn 3 going onto the straight. He's struggling for grip. I saw him cut turn 2, I believe. Yeah, he had to cut it because he lost the rear on turn 1 and then had to
Oh,
make up for it somehow. But yeah, he's struggling for grip on those hard tires as the track water goes up to 35%.
35. Oh,
We're gonna
but
see We're gonna see the slick drivers really struggle now. Space Ghost in P1. Um, I'm not seeing him struggle yet, but the others should surely struggle. Are we having a server crash? Or okay, I don't know what. Yeah, the server.
no, it's a server crash.
Uh,
This is oh no,
I thought
we
it was
have
my
no idea what
connection.
happened, people, but disconnected in just lap 4 out of 22. Oh no. Anyway,
Yeah.
so updates. I just
So
saw Fexeland that there was a DNF by Alexino.
did he actually DNF?
I saw a red bar in his name. I think something happened.
Yeah, no, yeah, he disconnected or rage quitted possibly. I wonder if they're gonna restart or give up already. Um, I'm not seeing anything talks about on management, so we're just gonna have some B-roll on the screen for you guys while we figure out what's gonna happen. We clearly don't know yet, and yeah, I wonder what the starting positions will be like. The thing is, if we are having a restart and you pitched just before the restart, it's gonna
Ay,
be
ay, ay.
very annoying. Yeah, you lost a lot of positions right there, and you're gonna be starting from behind. We had a disconnect on lap 4 out of 22, I
Lap
believe.
4, just
Yeah.
like, uh, is it 18 plus 4? So 18 laps remaining, and we got disconnected. We got yeeted from the server and just lap 4. So right now it's a this whole disconnecting thing. It's a yoke, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Space Ghost obviously in P1, Viplami P2, 7 P3. That's your top three if we do have a restart. And I believe so. The rain was at 35% by the disconnect. So if we do have a restart, I don't think we're gonna see any slick runners on that restart. We're only gonna see wet tires and wet tires only.
Oh, that's gonna be great. But right
Yeah.
now, people, what you're seeing on the camera is just what do you call this? Just B-roll. Just enjoy the landscapes of South Korea. But we're waiting for everything to hopefully be fixed and continue on the race. We would like to see the action unfold. That's like what we're waiting for tonight, or this afternoon rather. We want to see the
Yeah,
action go.
this restart is gonna make the strategies more boring. I believe most of the teams are gonna have the same strategy now. But yeah, if it was a one-run race, it would have been so exciting because now they have at least some sort of knowledge on the tires, on the weather and stuff like that. So their strategies are gonna be more educated, and educated strategies are just boring. When it's random guesses and luck, that's more excited and that's more fun to watch, of course.
Yes, indeed. At least we had quite an exciting first quarter of the race, and hopefully there could be fixes. Because if you know the worst comes to worst, we might be seeing a discontinuation of the race, and that's gonna be so sad. But hopefully not, Fexalan.
Yeah, it would be. We saw discontinuation of the feature race in F2 and F1, of course. So let's hope that doesn't happen here. We only have 18 laps to go. So I hope
18.
the race directors don't give up on it.
Oh yes, we should. They should never give up.
Exactly.
We have to be strong. And
Unless if
what?
we
No, yeah,
keep
yeah.
getting a shutdown every 4 laps. Remember what we said at the start. Hopefully we don't get a shutdown, and I said
Oh
we
no!
might not even get it. Yeah, I think we jinxed that.
I think I think we have jinxed it. Ah, that's gonna be so sad. They were like, we're so excited for the race, and all of a sudden now, boom, we got yeeted, bro. It's so sad.
Yeah, it's pain to be honest, but let's see how the restart rolls out. I see some
Oh,
drivers already on track. I think that's one car. Why is there one car on track while the garages are closed? I believe that's a Hoshi Shiragon car. That's Big Boy on the wet
oh.
side there.
They say early birds get the best. You know, possibly going to the grid first would mean good view starting grid.
Uh, Possibly, but he's starting from the what position is that? Let me check. That's pin 17. I don't think that's gonna help him much unless if he gets like an amazing start, but I don't think that's
Oh,
gonna happen.
that's also possible. So right now, people, we're just waiting for the race to continue. I know right now all you can see are just B-roll footage, but right now we're having some drivers on track actually in the starting grid. So hopefully in a few moments' time we can get this restart going on.
Yeah, we will. We're just waiting for all the drivers to come. And I wonder what the race directors are going to do. As we see the garage is open and the drivers coming out right there. I see. Okay, let's see. Are they on the wet? What's that? Tree Spirit. That's Space Ghost. He's on the soft. That's.
Oh,
Wait, are we doing a full restart? Let me check.
oh
Are we
no.
doing a full restart? I don't think we're doing a full restart.
Hopefully not. Okay, so we have the results. We just have to go refer to that. Let's take a look.
Yeah, we're not doing a full restart. We're starting on lap 4 out of 22, so we're gonna be doing 18 laps, and I don't think the softs are a good option, to be honest. I think Space Ghost might. I don't know. Maybe he thought softs were very good on. He thought the softs were very good on that. Oh, wait, why is there a car just getting dragged on the track? I don't know what happened there. But yeah, maybe he thinks the softs are good on this type of weather. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I see. Wait, there's a lot of drivers on the softs. Let me ask
Oh,
about the rain. Uh,
capitalizing, capitalizing on the restart. That's great.
yeah, I'm not sure what the rain is gonna be. If it's 35%,
Oh, they
I
have to
thought.
go back to wets.
Yeah, exactly.
But if for some reason that rainfall goes down, that means the soft runners would have a good chance to. Oh, okay, what's happening right now? Oh wait, never mind. The soft runners will have a good chance of dominating the laps if there's almost too little to no water. But I guess it's not gonna be the case, Fexerland, because it's 35% of water right now.
Yeah, indeed it is, and Space Ghost on those. There's a lot of drivers on the soft, so I wonder. Yeah, they probably thought the softs were the better option at that point of the race, and I see. Yeah, the back markers are going on the softs as well, except for a few drivers. I'm not sure what team that is, but yeah, they're going on the wets right there. So maybe go on the softs, pit around lap 6 if the rain reaches about 50%, and then drive until it's slick tire weather again. But maybe some drivers are gonna risk it, stay on slicks until it's 50% or above, and then yeah, I'm not sure how it will happen. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Oh yes, indeed. But right now we're just seeing a few, actually almost all of the drivers on the grid right now. Others are just waiting to possibly reach their starting grid positions. We're hoping to see at least no more errors. But if there will be errors sometime the race after 4 laps, there might be, well, unfortunate postponement.
Yeah, indeed, and I think Deepod is not here and his stream is messed up, so we can't fix it until Deepod is back. So I wonder if they're gonna delay it by a little bit until we can figure this out. We will have to wait and see, of course.
Hang on a second. If all the free practice sessions run well, there could possibly be the rain. We may never know.
Hmm? What?
Could possibly be the rain that might have caused the crash, perhaps, because it's a new feature that we've seen for GT3.
Um, Possibly, yeah, but we've been experiencing lag in F1 and F2. Maybe it's just something that this season has. Maybe we have too many players, we have too many people here nowadays. You never know. I mean, the
Oh,
only
I see.
crash we had
Just
last season, or the one I can remember in F1 especially, was Greece, where there was a server crash. That was the first time I ever saw a crash, and I believe that's the only
mm,
time it happened. Or actually, it happened in other races. I just can't remember them. The only reason I remember Greece is because I was a driver there. I remember on the back
ah,
straight, just losing connection and thinking I lost the connection instead of the server crash. But yeah.
I see, I see, I see. So right now, people, we are waiting for the race to begin. 18 laps remaining. Could be amazing to see. Do we have any soft runners, Vexelan?
Most of the drivers are on the softs, yeah. I'd say the
Oh
top
wow.
top 15 drivers or 16, yeah, 16 top drivers are all on the softs except for TDM fan, he's on the wets. And somebody he's on the hards. Let's see, that's Lolman on the wets. How to not on the wets. Yeah, I think a lot of drivers are actually going on the wets now. But your top six, the top six are all on softs.
Oh wow. Well, how will that be though in the case? Because we have 35% of water, and with people running softs, it could be hard for them.
Yeah, indeed.
All right. I guess we are seeing most of the cars now. As we can see, all personnel are now being advised to go off the track for the race to begin.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna wait until Depot is back here so we can fix it. Alex is allowed to rejoin even though he disconnected mid race.
Oh, what happened?
Uh, Alex, actually, Alex disconnected just before the proper disconnect. So I wonder if he rage quitted because he was running towards the back or something of the sort, possibly.
Oh,
But yeah. So all the drivers seem to have lined up already.
okay. 18 laps have been set.
Yep, the laps
All
have
right.
been set. I think there is a missing driver for P21.
Okay, we have all the drivers
Yep.
jumping out and into their cars.
Yeah, we do, but we're just waiting until the stream gets fixed really quick. But P21, that's Alexino. He still hasn't filled his spot and he seems to be nowhere to be found. But yeah.
I think that missing spot right there in the grid belongs to Alex.
Yeah, it does. All the drivers are on the leaderboard right now. I can hear them revving up their engines and getting ready for the race. We're just waiting for the stream to get set up.
Alrighty.
Okay, we should be okay now. Hold on. Okay, watch the lights. Okay, everyone watch the lights. I'll do this one. We have 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. As we see Space Gas in the lead. Are we waiting? Lights out and away we go. Space Ghost gets a decent start, of course, as he's getting chased by the KR cars and the brand star of Viplummy, I believe. Both the Tree Spirits are in P1 and 2 right now, as Seva is trying to split them and get their position, as I see 3 KR cars chasing down both the Tree Spirits. Seva is in P2 though. And Space Ghost is holding his car, 35% rain, and they're on the slicks, and they're doing quite well. That's quite interesting, to be honest. As we see a fleet car go on the grass and go very wide there in the background.
Alright, we're seeing this action once again try to return to the track, as we're seeing the Tri-Spirits of Space Ghost holding that P1 position right there, followed by Seva, who is now pouncing in hopes of getting that P1 spot. But right now we're seeing amazing defensive maneuvers by the drivers, as we're seeing a lot of purple sectors being set. That's just the system trying to go analyze all of these drivers running these things.
Yeah, so on the straight, I saw Epic Noobs swerving to the right hand of this straight to avoid giving slipstream, obviously. But I think that was a bad idea, because if there's cars ahead of you, it's obviously better to get the slipstream from the car ahead than not to give in the slipstream to the car behind. And Epic Noob goes very wide into the hairpin right there, and I saw a lot of cars losing the rear on the uphill straight, of course.
Oh, yes, indeed. That uphill straight is a horrendous part of the track. We're seeing a lot of flips going on there in various series. F1, F2, and now GT3. Anyway, back to the top. We're seeing the Tri-Spirit of Space Ghost still in P1, separating him and Epic Noob is 0.8 seconds of a gap. That is amazing. This could possibly mean an overtake by the teammate, but we may never know.
The track water is actually at 40% now, so the slick tire drivers are gonna be struggling more. Currently, the top 8, I'd say, or the top, I don't know how many, but all the drivers who are doing well right now, that are in the decent gap, are all of them are on the slicks, and they haven't made mistakes yet, while all the other drivers below them are probably on the wets. But yeah, we see.
Oh.
I just saw Greg on the final corner. He's really struggling for grip. Obviously, he was on the wets earlier, and now he decided to start on the slicks. I wonder if he's already regretting his
Oh.
decision, because it seems as if he. Oh wait, is that a car? That's a Valor, I believe. That's a Valor crashed on the start-finish straight. I don't know who that was. That must have been
Oh.
Lettuce of the Wet or Lol Man crashed on the start-finish straight.
No, that is a car indeed. But Lettuce of the Wet right there. Hopefully gonna be living up to the name.
What? Huh? Why? Why would you want? What name? What? How would he live? Okay.
Oh,
Anyways,
sorry. There was action earlier on track, but now everything's okay.
oh, okay. So yeah,
All right.
the tree spirits who are running in P1 and 2 so far, now they're in P2 and P6. So Epic Noob must have made some sort of mistake as he falls all the way down to P10, the only person getting a yellow sector. He's on the slick, so I wonder if the slicks are not working for him at 40%.
Oh no!
At 40% weather. What happened? Wait,
There
there's a
has
lot.
been a change of P1 spot. We now have Epic Brother snatching that from Space Ghost, Fexelan.
Yeah, we do. As we see, Vexala on the uphill. That's Zakoya, who loses the rear there and goes all the way to the left side of the uphill. And he's coming back on track right now. As we see a lot of drivers, a few of them on the wet, doing better now.
Oh, seems like it's already going to be a great advantage for the drivers with wet tires, considering it's already 40% of track water. Okay, great. I hope there's not going to be any problems right now because we're seeing a lot of vision lag.
Yeah, we do. I hope there is no problem. Olgan is moving up to P3. He's on the softs. He's set in purple sectors. So obviously the slick tires are still working, but in about 2 laps time, they're gonna be moving up to all around 50% terrain or track water. That's gonna be enough to trigger a round of pit stops for this wet, most likely. But as you can see, the slick runners or Epic Noob in the lead. He's about 15 seconds ahead of LOL Fun Greg. And Greg is on the slicks as well. I was thinking that Greg was on the wets for some reason. But yeah, wet runners like the car in P15, he's 15 seconds ahead. I think the slicks runners have
Oh,
done a good enough job to be able to secure themselves a pit stop to the wets, have fresh wets, and still a decent gap to get back into P1.
because right now, Fexelan, the cars are not moving. We
Yeah,
might be
they're moving
experiencing
again for
another.
me, and that Epic Noob
Oh,
who's
yes.
won
Yes.
around. Epic Noob is really struggling on this type of weather. I think the better option for him would have been starting on the wets, but yeah, he's really struggling for grip. He might be falling down to P12 or 13 right now.
Oh.
And there is a fight for P2 between Space Ghost and Organis, as Organis takes P2, but now Space Ghost takes it back and is about 5 tenths ahead of Organis now, as all the drivers going very wide as the rain moves up to 45%. The drivers are going to be struggling more and more as Organis touches the sausage curb and spins around. He crashes, loses about 5 or 4 positions to the KR cars, and whoever was behind them, TDM fan, capitalizing on that, getting the slipstream on the uphill, and I believe TDM fan just did a double overtake.
Oh no, that's not going to be good for the advan of Aghanis. There has to be some serious strategy calls right here. A miracle to happen only would happen if there's going to be a pit stop call or perhaps a crash ahead of Aghanis in this case. But right now, we're seeing much more action going on the midfield as we're seeing the crashes take place, as what you've said.
Yeah, I think I have a strong feeling that Organis is pitching this lap because he's struggling on every corner and he might go for the undercut and pitch right now and go into the go out on the wets and maybe do a decent outlap and catch up for when the other drivers pitch and maybe come out ahead of them. But yeah, the wet tires seem to be the better tires at this moment right now. And Ogan is drifting
Yeah, that is
after
true.
every corner. Oh my god, he can't stop drifting that car.
Oh no. We're seeing a lot of Fast and the Furious Korean drift actions,
Yeah,
shenanigans on
and
track
that's
right now. I think
yeah,
Agonies now goes to pit.
yeah, Organis has pitched, Epic Brother, Space Ghost, Seva, Eric, all of them pitching right now. TDM fans staying out as the rain moves up to 50%. So yeah, this is the
Oh
wet weather.
no.
Wet weather. This is the wet tires weather right now. So yeah, you see a lot of drivers pitching. There's about four of them. The top four haven't pitched yet. But yeah,
They
let's
have
see
to.
where they come out. They have to indeed, and they're probably gonna come out next. They're probably gonna pitch this lap.
Oh, seems like we've seen Seva, I believe, just came out of the pits with wet tires, if I'm not mistaken, and now is on the charge to go to the front line.
Yeah, we are. TDM fan currently in lead with his teammate 8 seconds behind. So TDM fan has a decent lead. Even if he pits, he's not going to be too far behind. Space Ghost, Eric, and Epic are all around the same gap. Blue Sonic, I believe he's still on the slicks. He's spinning around every corner right there, being chased down by Champy, who's on the wets.
Oh no. And considering we're now in lap 4, Fexlen, we're just gonna have to cross our fingers. Hopefully there will not be any disconnecting errors right now, as we're now approaching Sector 1. Sector 2, rather, in the long straight.
Yeah, Epic Brother. Yeah, we shouldn't worry about disconnects. Hopefully, not this time. But yeah, Epic Brother really struggling for grip for some reason. He's on the wets. He was doing so well so far. He was up to P5, but he lost the rear coming into the uphill. And yeah,
Oh.
he lost a few positions right there. And he's going on the sausage curves and struggling chasing down his teammate Eric.
Now we're seeing, I believe this is TDM fan and how to not basically keeping that 1-2 spot secured. That's quite amazing right there. Oh, we have stopped. Oh please, no, 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 no.
No, I think we're fine. I
Please
see
do
the
not say
cars
no.
moving around. Space Ghost in P6. He's so the highest running person who pit so far is Space Ghost in P6. He's 23 seconds behind the leader, and TDM fan doesn't pit. He's wait. Oh wait, TDM fan is on the wets already. He must have started on the wets and made
Oh.
them. Wait, I don't remember him
Oh
being on
wow.
the wets at the when did TDM fan pitch? He's 11 seconds or 12 seconds ahead of P2 and he's already on the wet. That's quite impressive to be honest.
And there's also one more thing that's impressive. We're now seeing drivers hitting purple sectors right here. And take a look, we have Agonies right there, who just spun earlier, now gets the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, he does. I believe, yeah, I do believe that TDM fan started or has just recently pitched for the wet tires. Maybe for the other drivers, I just didn't notice it. Says Blue Sonic Gem pits now. I believe he was, yeah, Blue Sonic Gem is already on the wet. I wonder why he's pitching. But yeah, Lettuce of the Wet, 67% on his front right. He needs to pitch ASAP or he's gonna struggle. Zakoya on the soft pits for the wets right now. But yeah, TDM fan securing himself a very decent position with his teammate in P2. So yeah, that's what the strategy is all about on this track.
That is right indeed. We're now seeing a great defense there by the Audi drivers, who are now holding P1 and P2 in spot. Meanwhile, this is followed by the Hoshi drivers of White Yo-Yo and Big Boy in P3 and P4 respectively. The earlier front runners that we have closest to those spots is Space Ghost in P6. So Space Ghost needs to do some offensive maneuvers to get himself up to P5.
Yes, indeed. Okay, this is This is insane strategy calls from TDM fan and his team. They're doing quite well. They might guarantee themselves a podium if they can manage their pit stop for the second half of the race when the rain is going to be going down. I wonder if they're going to put earlier than the others, maybe later. Yeah, I don't know how the strategy is going to look, but it's going to be surely interesting. And for fuel, for example, Tree Spirit are on 66% fuel, while Epic Brother is on 42%. So there's a fuel difference there. Maybe the KR cars are expecting another pit stop, while the Tree Spirits are not.
Oh, that's insightful, huh? Actually, there's just one thing I'd like to add in the case of TDM Fan, who is 12 seconds ahead of everybody. This reminds me of Winklehawk from Formula One, who actually had a great strategy call, starting with wet tires in the race and having, let's say, a lap ahead of everybody else in the grid that time, because the rest of the constructors in that grid during that race had to pit after a lap, wherein Winklehawk was already ahead of everybody else. So this is exactly the scenario happening right now with TDM Fan.
Yeah, I think the opposite happened in F1 last season with the Haas drivers. I don't remember specifically what track. Maybe it was Hungary. I don't know, but yeah, where the Haas drivers pitted for inters and the others were on wets and had to pit early on as well. And the Haas managed to get their first points of the season.
Mm,
But yeah, I heard that I confirmed that TDM started on the wet, so that's insane strategy
yes.
calls from the team. And so it's not only the strategy, his teammate is on the same strategy, but he's all 14 seconds behind. So obviously he had the good strategy, but he also had the skill to keep that car doing well.
No, that is right, Fexelan. And if ever TDM Fan's gonna go pit anytime soon, he's probably gonna go end up behind How to Not basically, or let's say slightly ahead of White Yo-Yo, because it's about 20 seconds for a pit stop to work. So still, with this gap, it's still gonna be a P2 position for Audi.
Yeah, TDM fan improving in the first and second sector. The rain or track water is at 60%. It should increase to 65% after they finish this lap, and afterwards it's gonna gradually keep decreasing until they reach 20% of course. And TDM fan is currently lapping Viplummy, who's still on the softs, and Viplummy pits right now. He's
Oh,
a back marker.
that has to be blue flags right there for Viplami earlier. But right now, this is lap 7 of the race. We're doing well so far, no disconnections. Thank you so much. And we're now witnessing Space Ghost going to P3. If we could actually go to him right now in the Tri-Spirit. It's now just pouncing. I think this is Epic Brother
Yeah, he's
right there.
fighting for position with Epic Brother right there, and Eric and Organist just behind them. Organist has the fastest lap, and Eric and Organist, both of them having the fastest final sectors of the race. So Space and so most of the pitters who pitted are actually catching up very nicely and very quickly to TDM Fan and his teammate. His teammate might lose his position soon, but TDM Fan has secured himself a decent enough gap that he is able to wait for the rain to start going down and then pit later on and have a decent gap.
Mm-hmm. Oh, imagine how that unfolds. Because right now it's 16 seconds ahead of his teammate. How to Not basically. I'm talking about the Diamond Minecart fan here, who's now in P1. That's like 15 seconds separating him and his fellow teammate. So if he plans to go into the pits anytime soon, that's going to be an advantage still, especially when the rain begins to subside.
Yes, indeed. Eric and Organist about one chance behind them. They're fighting and fighting for position. Eric trying his best to keep that position. Obviously, Organist, I believe, overtook him on the uphill as they go into the hairpin right there. Yeah, Organist goes a bit
Oh,
wide. Eric takes the better line, but Organist does get the better exit and manages to secure the position for himself.
all right. It seems like we're going to be seeing some fresh faces on the podium later on if this strategy continues to be constant throughout the race. But we might be seeing some strategy calls, some pit calls, especially once the rain begins to subside. There could be a change in the podium runners right now. Hopefully, we might see some spectacular strategies later on in the race. We're seeing
Yes,
now Dan TDM fan going past the checkered, not checkered flag, the starting grid.
yes, indeed. So the track water should be decreasing instead of increasing now. So it's at 65%. It should start going down. How to not? Wait, no, that's Eric and Olgan is fighting for position. No, it's actually Epic and Olgan is. Olgan is catching up to P4 right now. He's P4. He's fighting with
Oh,
Epic Brother for P3. So Olgan is moved up all the way from the fight with Eric to the fight with the P3 and Podium positions. That's very impressive. Olgan is keeping a very consistent drive, doing very well compared to the other drivers who are really struggling for a grip and losing the rear everywhere. As Olgan is goes very wide. He must
goes
have,
wide.
yeah, he must have more understeer than the other drivers. But yeah, he lost a bit of time because of that.
All right. Agnes is now in P4. That's an amazing call of events. This could possibly be a podium win by Agnes, but it's still early to judge. Faxalan, we might be seeing some changes later on.
Yes, we will be, and how to not basically is only 3 seconds or 2.5 seconds ahead of Epic Brother. How to not basic started on the wets. Epic Brother pitted for the wets, and he's already catching up to him. So that tells you about the pace of Epic Brother and a little bit about the pace of how to not basically. And that's a Vexala on the start-finish straight. That's Zakoya who crashes and spins around. What position is he? And his teammate actually disconnects. The Vexalas are having a horrendous race this weekend. I believe, they're one of the back markers. It must be a
Oh
horrendous
no.
race for them. Yeah, indeed.
Has to be, yes, that's right. That has to be really sad for the Vexelan Motorsports and oh sorry, for the Vexela Motorsports right there. And right now, as we're seeing the Audi of TDM fan, who is now, take a look at this, Vexelan, 19.6 seconds ahead of Agnes, who zones up to P2. Wow.
Yeah, they're obviously catching up because TDM fans' tires are wearing out, and the rain is at 70% right now, so it's not
Oh,
going down.
okay.
Yeah, that's the rain is going up, not down. That's my bad for saying it will go down, but yeah, Organis is fighting Epic Brother for position as Epic Brother goes wide, almost touches the sausage curbs. Organis gets a better exit and manages to hold his position 3 tenths ahead of Epic Brother, 19 seconds behind TDM Fan. I think TDM Fan has a decent enough lead that he can just hold his position, stay consistent, maybe lose 5 tenths per lap, and he shouldn't even worry until they need to pit again, and he's gonna still keep his gap because all the other drivers are gonna pitch. Maybe we might see some drivers not pitch and stay out until the end and maybe just stay on those wet tires on the lower track water. You never know.
Mm-hmm. There could be a switcheroo of drivers going on later on once that happens. But right now, we're seeing such phenomenal work by Agnes defending that P2 spot right there. But there is a lot of slipstream going on, so there could be overtakes going on in this straight. As we're seeing this
Oh
braking
wait,
zone right here, Agnes goes around the inside.
how to not basically actually disconnected? I just noticed
Oh
that he
no.
disconnected from the race. That must be very heartbreaking for the Audi GT3 team. They just lost out on so many points from that strategy call. As Organist spins
Oh
around.
no.
What did he hit? Organist spins around. What is happening? All the
That's
drivers seem
sad.
to be
Oh.
struggling. Yes, indeed. Oh, I feel bad for the Audi team. They had an amazing strategy call, and how to not must be heartbroken from that disconnect.
Oh, but still, that was quite an incredible performance by How to Not. Basically, we gotta go give that to him and the Audi team for the strategy calls. Quite unfortunate that that disconnecting had to happen. Same with the Vexela Motorsports team. I'm talking about Zakoya and Bumbleclat. But still, we have to keep racing and continuing on. Lap 9 out of 18 now.
Yeah, Vexala did well in France. They're not doing the best in South Korea. Hopefully, they can do better in Greece, or I don't know what the next GT3 track is. It's Greece for the F1 season. I'm not sure what it is for GT3, obviously. But TDM fan losing about a second or a second and a half on the last lap alone. I wonder
Oh,
how much he's gonna lose now. We're just waiting for Epic Brother to cross the line, and yeah, he doesn't lose any time on this lap. However, yes, the track water is finally going down, so we should.
it's
I,
going
I
down.
yeah, I really doubt a pit stop, to be honest. It's at 65% right now. There's about 8 laps to go. I don't think it's gonna go low enough for them for to justify a pit stop onto the slicks, unless if some driver is wanting to risk it. TDM fan might have an issue right here if the drivers don't pit and he does, because his tires
Oh
are
no.
obviously more
Was
worn
this an
out.
overtake?
Huh?
Oh, okay. Never mind. I must have
Yeah,
mistaken. Anyway,
yeah, his
continue.
drivers, his tires are gonna be more worn out than the others, obviously, because he started on them. The others only pitted around lap 4 and 6. But yeah, Ogan is
Mhm.
back into P6 very well, and the driver behind them, 11 seconds behind. Ogan still needs to catch up to Seva and get back into that fight for a podium. Currently, we have a KR 2, 3, and 5. Garrett is nowhere to be found on
Oh.
the leaderboard. So I wonder if he left already. But yeah, Ogan is really struggling for the grip on the rear tires.
This could be another fantastic performance by the KR Racing team, who are also the forerunners in the previous season. So they're just defending that champion-like performance in this race. But we can see TDM Fan now losing a lot of time. That's now 15.8 seconds separating him from Eric Capri. There has to be a pit stop anytime soon if TDM Fan wants to clinch this win. Imagine that, a historic win for Audi for GT3.
Yeah, it's I really hope it does happen. As much as I love the KR teams and sponsor them, of course, I really hope GDM fan can pull this off and prove that strategy is way more important than skill. But you obviously need driver skill
Oh, there
because
has a spin.
yeah, that's Geomill.
There is
He's
a
one of
spin.
the back markers. It doesn't yeah, I think he's a lap car, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh.
But yeah, this is quite.
Oh.
I
All
hope
right.
you guys are enjoying this race as much as we are. If you are, make sure to hit that like button to make Dpod happy, of course. But yeah,
And
yeah,
subscribe.
yeah, subscribe to
Subscribe to
Ion
Ion
Racing.
Racing.
We need to
We're
get
on the
3,000.
way to
Yeah,
3K subs. That's right, Fexland.
yeah, we need about. We're only 40 subscribers away from 3K. That's quite insane. But yeah, TDM fan on the straight right now, fighting a lap car. That's Legends of the West. But look at the gaps. Eric is only 13.5 seconds behind TDM
Oh
fan.
no!
So if
Those
TDM fan,
tires.
yeah, if TDM fan is considering a pit stop, he should do it around either next lap or the lap after, because he needs to capitalize. Because his gap is only gonna get the gap is only gonna get smaller and smaller, and he might want to pit early to get back on the softs and do better on the softs in like around 45% rain, so he can. So he can like make sure he has a decent gap, as is only 11 seconds to Garrett now. As we see Organis and Seva tied for P5 right there. Organis losing time and then catching up again. I believe Seva has made some sort of mistake.
Oh no. We're just like 7 laps remaining and Seva is in P6 tied with Agonies actually. So this might not be a good result. Actually, P6 is still good. Although speaking of Seva with the championship-like performance right there, that might not be good for the KR Racing driver.
Yeah, it's really KR are still doing well, to be honest. They're still gonna get decent points.
Mm-hmm.
Seva's team is not gonna get as many points because it's only one driver finishing the race. But Eric is catching up to the TDM fan lap by lap as the rain is going down. Only 10 seconds behind TDM fan. Even if
Oh
TDM fan
no.
loses the position, he already did well enough to guarantee himself a top 5 maybe position, because if Eric catches up to him, Epic is gonna be next. Space Ghost is gonna catch up next. Seva and Organis, of course. Organis really showing a very amazing pace. It's only that he's not that consistent. He makes mistakes here and there, which makes him lose a lot of time. If he hasn't made a single mistake, I'd say he'd be fighting Eric right now.
Oh. Oh
But yeah,
no.
the
Well,
rain is 50%.
it's going down. It's
Yes,
going
it
down for
is.
real, bro.
Yeah, indeed. And I think the best pit stop for TDM fan would be now because he would be getting fresh tires. Maybe there's a lot of rain to be on slicks, but I think it would be his best option. Only 9 seconds ahead of Eric.
Oh yes, that is right indeed. TDM fan has to get those fresh tires now because his tires right now are getting tired. They gotta take a rest. They gotta go get a new fresh set of tires to maintain that P1 spot. But no, there's now 9.3 seconds separating Eric Kepri and TDM fan. What could be the result here, Fexelan?
Yeah, indeed. The TDM fan really struggling. I think if he's gonna pitch, it should be now. I think I'm gonna go check his tire wear. His tire wear is on 82% on the front. He's getting a lot and a lot of understeer. Epic Brother, for example, is on 90% on the front. So that tells you the difference in tire wear and grip. For example, last lap alone, TDM fan was 2 seconds slower than Epic Brother. So yeah, he needs his A game and to keep his position, of course.
That is right. But right now we're seeing the gap between Eric and TDM fan just going down. It's now 8.9. Oh no, Audi seriously needs to think of a miraculous pit stop, hopefully a fast one as well, to get that P1 spot, or at least P2, because there's a 6-second gap separating Eric
Yeah.
and Epic Brother, so there could be a chance.
So I'm spectating TDM fan and he doesn't pit, so he's going on another lap on those tires, and I saw Eric just behind him sliding out of corners trying to catch up and chasing him down. It's quite scary, probably scary on the rear mirrors of TDM fan. He's gonna be very scared. But yeah, I almost called him Winklehawk, but TDM fan is doing very well.
Amazing. And imagine this, Vexlan.
Organis pit.
TDM fan has been like this since the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh,
Organis
Agnes
pit.
Pits.
He's going on the slicks, I believe. Yeah, he is. So Organis going on the softs pretty early on. I don't think this pit stop really is justifiable for him. It was very justifiable for TDM fan because he has lower tire wear. But Organis, I'd say, should have maybe stayed out for a bit more. But it's all about difference in strategy, and we will see if he's gonna make this pit stop work for his team.
No, hopefully as well, as we see Agnes continuing to push through the field, hoping to get as much positions as Agnes can.
Yeah, Organis didn't even lose positions from that pit stop because the car behind is AJ Capadonna, 22 seconds
Oh wow, that's
behind.
so far.
Yeah, so as long as he can make those tires stick to the ground and do well, it would be a good pit stop strategy from Organis. Remember, fuel is also a thing here. TDM fan, 9%
Oh.
fuel. So he's almost gonna run out of fuel. So
Oh.
he's gonna be pitting very soon, about 3 seconds slower than Seva on the last lap.
Oh no, those tires are getting so tired. They're like saying, I gotta go pit now. But
Yeah.
TDM fans saying, no, I'm gonna go remain here until as much as I can defend my position.
But remember, now his position, he basically has P1 in track position because when he has to pit, the others are probably gonna pit as well. So he actually has P1 by 5 seconds. So yeah, it's a good strategy no matter what happens. As long as he can fight Eric on the slicks, it's gonna be a fun and a very fun end of the race. Let's see if TDM fan
Mhm.
pits now. No, TDM fan doesn't
Oh, he does
pit.
not. He stays out.
And Eric going for the undercut is Epic Brother going to pit.
Oh no!
Yes, Epic Brother pit. Space Ghost stays out. This is gonna be an interesting end of a race.
It's stop shenanigans, people. We're now 4 laps remaining until the end of the Grand Prix.
I believe Seva is gonna pit. Both KR cars have pitted, and yeah, Seva is going into the pits right now. So let's see if Organis or if the cars come out behind or ahead of Organis. I think Eric already left the pits, and let's see where Organis stands after the pit stops. Does he get the positions? Yes, Organis comes out ahead of Epic Brother and ahead of Seva. So Organis has made
Oh.
the undercut work to some extent. But yeah, TDM Fan still out on track. Space Ghost out on track as well. They still haven't pit. 40% track water.
Oh, it's going down for real, bro. As we can
Yes.
see, TDM Fan now having a 9.2-second gap between him and Space Ghost. Space Ghost could fancy a, what do you call it, an overtake in the next laps, assuming that Space Ghost does not go to pit.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So Space Ghost is catching up to the Fan, 9 seconds behind. That's quite interesting. Elgin is 40 seconds behind the lead. So even if if TDM Fan actually pits, he's gonna come out around Eric, I'd say, or yeah, he's gonna come out fighting Eric for position once he pits, and I believe he should pit ASAP, maybe on this lap, hopefully.
Alright, that could be as well. But right now we're seeing a 2.5-second gap between Space Ghost and TDM Fan. Basically, Space Ghost is, let's say, in the tail of TDM.
Yeah, TDM Fan must have made some sort of mistake, or maybe Space Ghost is just lagging a lot because I still see him very far behind TDM Fan right now, as we're probably gonna see TDM Fan go into the pits finally as
He
Viplummy
gets
ahead of
in.
him. Yeah, Viplummy also goes into the pits, but yeah, TDM Fan finally in the pits, probably gonna be refueling as well. He's on 4% fuel. Yeah, he's just very close. 35% track water. He's gonna go on the soft. He's
Oh.
gonna make those softs go to the end. Space Ghost pits of course as well. He's gonna be going to the soft to
Oh, here
refuel.
we go. If we
Yeah,
go back to TDM Fan Faxland, he's going out of the pits. He could just be right ahead of Eric Capery, and he actually does.
yeah, way ahead. He manages to get a very clean pit stop. No, he's not ahead. He's just behind Eric actually. Eric comes out ahead, but remember, TDM Fan has fresh tires. Eric was on slicks while it was higher rain, so his tires must have been wearing out even
Oh.
faster. This is quite intense. TDM Fan has fresher tires, probably has better tire wear. It's gonna be an intense end of a race.
But either way, that was such a masterclass performance by Audi and, of course, TDM. Great, great stuff right there.
Yeah, TDM Fan on 98% tire wear, even though he just came out. Eric on 94% tire wear, so his tires are already very worn out. TDM Fan is on 34% fuel. I think he made a mistake. He refueled way too much.
Oh.
Eric has half his fuel. He has 17%. So I think while TDM
Oh.
Fan has better tire wear, he has way too much fuel. There's only 3 laps to go. So I think that's way too much fuel for this race, or the race end.
I see. Oh, that is right. There could be a chance that Eric Capery brings home the victory for KR Racing, but we're still in 3 laps. 3 more laps, people. This is going to be exciting, exhilarating, as we see the final 3 laps of the Korean Grand Prix take place right now.
Yes, indeed. Eric 3 seconds ahead. He's set in purple sectors. A lot of drivers set in purple sectors as the rain keeps going down and down. Even if TDM Fan can't get this win, he really deserves. He obviously did an amazing drop, and shout out to the KR guys who managed to pull off a decent strategy for Eric. It seems this hasn't been working out the best for Epic and Seva. But yeah, AJ Capadona is set in a purple first sector as well. It's mainly because the rain
Seva's
is
been.
going down.
Oh, yeah. But just take a look at Seba getting 2 purple sectors right now, but Eric Capri gets 2 purple sectors as well, as Eric remains in P1. TDM Fan is losing time, it's now 4.4 seconds. Oh no. Alright, people, to everyone watching the stream right now, who do you think is going to win the Korean Grand Prix? Let us know in the chat right now.
And who do you want to win as well? We need to hear what you guys or who you guys want to win. Space Ghost in P3, barely behind TDM Fan. He's gonna be chasing him down and trying to get his position. But in my opinion, whatever happens, TDM Fan has guaranteed himself a podium position. Currently on 25% wet track water, we're gonna be seeing people set fastest lap after fastest lap.
That is right. We're now seeing all of these soft runners trying to push in, just keep on zooming forward to possibly get as much positions. It's now about high speed in this track. Korean Grand Prix is becoming much more heated because the soft tires are now running their jobs very well. 25% of track water right now, as we're seeing Eric Capri increasing his lead to 5.3 seconds. Oh, you're right,
Yeah.
Faxalan. That fuel strategy did not play out well.
Exactly. Space Ghost 7/10 behind TDM Fan. He's actually catching up quite quickly to him. And Space Ghost is on 22% fuel. He's much lower fuel. And Eric sets a purple first sector, while TDM Fan or nor Space Ghost can actually set a purple first sector.
That is so great. This Korean Grand Prix is just becoming much more interesting, man.
TDM Fan takes P2. Space Ghost takes P2, and TDM Fan is about 8/10 behind him.
Oh, we're now about to approach the final 2 laps. I think that's Eric Capri. I thought he slid there for a bit. I think I'm wrong. Eric Capri now gets onto the final curbs to finish lap 17. And there we go.
But
It's
yeah,
now
something
lap
we haven't
17. Sorry.
Something we haven't mentioned is, as you saw, Hoshi Shiragon did very bad in the sprint race. I believe their drivers started P23 or somewhere around there, and they're doing quite well. They're P9 and P12, one of the drivers in the point. So they started on the wets as well. So they made the wet strategy work out for their team as well. Quite a decent
Oh,
job.
that
from
is great.
Yeah, Hoshi Shiragon. And
Hoshi Shiragani.
Yes, indeed. The Space goes 2.4 seconds ahead of TDM Fan. It's really unfortunate for TDM Fan losing out on a win because of his fuel. But yeah, he must be heartbroken, but he should be happy for that podium position.
Yes, I think this is going to be a podium spot for TDM Fan, but still, amazing performance, people, by Audi, the team, and of course TDM. That's going to be a podium for TDM.
Yeah, indeed. And the thing of fight we should be watching right now is Organis with Epic Brother. They're neck and neck fighting for position. About 7/10. Organis 7/10 behind Epic Brother, and Seva just behind him catching up. Obviously, Seva dominated the sprint race, but now he's really struggling. I wonder if it's the strategy that messed him up or something else. But yeah. TDM Fan improving in the first sector, so maybe he's finding the pace he needs to find.
But not enough to possibly get, P1, because we're seeing Eric setting a yellow sector but a purple first sector.
Yes, indeed. Very unfortunate events for Craig as well. They only have Greg running P17 with no second driver. That's very sad for the Craig team. I was hoping they can do better and maybe score some points for the team, but you never get it how you want it. Seva P6, he's trying to catch up to the P5 and P4 runners. He seems to not be able to do so. Epic and Organis neck and neck still. They're side by side going into the final 2 corners as Organis tries to take the better line. He managed to get a better line, but Epic rather gets a better exit as they go through the final corner right there. I think Organis has got the better of Epic Brother, and he's gonna be getting P4 for the start of the final lap of the race.
Alright, this is it, people. The final lap, the final 2 minutes of the Korean Grand Prix. We're seeing Eric Capri safely and happily keeping that P1 spot. He's saying, man, this is my position today. I'm gonna go bring home this win, and I'm gonna go taste that rose water in a few minutes time. And we have Space Ghost in P2 right there, 5.7 seconds ahead. That's another Tri-Spirit possibly could win P2 here, just like the French Grand Prix. We had seen a KR Racing in P1, followed by a Tri-Spirit in P2, and now we're seeing a fresh new face on the podium, which could most probably be TDM Fan. But then again, Fexelan, we're seeing Agoni's increasing speed. This could be an interesting turn of events.
It could be, but you can't make 7 seconds on a single lap unless if TDM Fan makes some miserable and big mistake. But as you can see, P11 and P12 both set purple first sectors, and Epic Noob is gonna need to be on his A game if he wants to finish in the points and get points for his team, Tree Spirit. So his teammate P2, he's gonna get decent points. Epic Noob needs to move up to P10 to get points for his team and beat Blue Sonic Gem. Only 2 seconds ahead of him, and he's trying to beat Hoshi Shirgon's car driven by Big Boy, who's about 3 seconds on the ahead, or 2 seconds ahead on the leaderboard, which I think it's much closer now.
Oh yes, but it's not a good race for Seva, who has been struggling in P6 all along. Oh man.
P6 is still a decent finishing position as Eric goes through the final corner. He's on the final straight. He's gonna be getting the slipstream from Viplummy, who said the fastest lap for some reason. But yeah, Eric gets P1, finishes in P1, gets the win for the KRR team. Space Ghost crosses the line, gets a podium for the Tree Spirit team. And TDM Fan coming around the final corner. Winkelhawk and Ion GT3 manages to get a podium position out of an amazing fall. Amazing job for TDM Fan getting that podium. Oganis manages to take P4 as Epic Brother gets P5 and Seva settles in for P6. AJ Capadona gonna be coming around the final 2 corners, gonna be getting P6 as he pushes and defends from Tempe about 10 seconds behind. He shouldn't really worry about him, but there's still a big fight between P9, P10 and P11, all of them fighting for points right there. Hoshi Shirgon moving all the way down to P12. I wonder if they made some sort of mistake. They're out of the points right now, and Epic Noob is in P10 right now in the points with JCast only 2 seconds behind. We're gonna be watching this fight until it ends. Blue Sonic Gem seems to be in the lead with Epic Noob just behind him. These are the 2 final point run-in positions. Wait, no, never mind. I think GT3 has top 15. That's finishing the points. They recently changed it, so wherever they finish, they're gonna be in the points. So yeah, Epic
that is great.
Gets P9, Epic Noob gets P10, Jake has P11, and Big Boy in P12.
Oh wow, this was quite a race indeed, Vexelan.
Yeah, Big Boy actually takes P11 as Jake has.
Oh wow.
What happened to Jake? Did Jake? Wait, did Jake? Jake has ran out of fuel on the start finish straight. Jake
oh no! Ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing J-Cast running towards the starting grid and getting the checkered flag. He's doing his best. He's jogging all his way to reach the checkered flag right now. Please get all the cameras on this. This is a historical moment for J-Cast right there. He's jumping and jogging, just attempting to get that spot right there. What's happening to him? I hope everything is okay.
Yeah, Jake has lost all his positions because of that small miscalculation in terms of fuel. If he just waited 1 more second in the pits, he would have had enough fuel to finish this race. But he finishes in P18, loses all the points finishing.
Oh!
But yeah, amazing
Man!
race. That was a very fun race indeed.
Amazing race. That was such a good ending, bro. J-Cast doing a marathon, man. Just in the starting grid, he had to park his car right there, exit the doors, and just run his way onto this checkered flag. That is something I have not seen in an official Ion League before. Oh, wow. Quite a race indeed, Fexelan.
Yeah,
quite a race.
Something similar has happened before in F1 Britain, if anyone can remember. JQN actually crashed on the final lap, or actually, no, he ran out of fuel on the final sector, and he had to walk all the way to the end to guarantee his position, but he wasn't in threat of losing his position because all the cars behind him were actually lapped. So they couldn't beat him to it. But yeah, he got I don't know what position it was. It was around P6 or
Oh,
P5. But yeah, everyone, the KR team, the Tree Spirit team, the Audi team, all getting ready for that podium.
all right. It's gonna be podium celebrations right now, Vexland. Would you like to see the Rosewater celebrations? Let's go take a look.
Yes,
I think the
indeed.
drivers are now inside. Oh, this is such a sweet look from up here. We can see the cars right now. I am loving this.
Yeah, it's such an amazing feeling being on the podium. You may call it a Roblox league, a GT3 league. No one cares about a Roblox Lego game, but trust me, the intensity of the fights in this game and the competition is so intense that whenever you get a podium, it's always very worth it.
All right. I think they're now spraying rose water. These drivers must be so thirsty after let's say 1 to 2 hours of no drink. Actually, do they have a drink inside the GT3 vehicles? I think so. We may never know.
I don't know. I've never driven a GT3 car in a race, but yeah, we need to ask Kimmy about that probably. But yeah, congrats to
Oh,
Space.
he forgot to connect the drink.
Yeah, congrats to Greg though, finishing in P14. He got his first points in GT3 ever
That is
today.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, it must be heartbreaking for
Amazing stuff.
Hawkface though. About 1 second off scoring points for his team. That must be really heartbreaking.
I see, I see. But then again, this is gonna be your top three, ladies and gentlemen. We have ourselves KR Racing, followed by Tri Spirit, and finally Audi in their first podium of this season. Man, we're just gonna be waiting for X-Bow afterwards. Gonna be another fantastic race. Anyway, we're just waiting for the podium celebrations. Seems like
Yeah.
others are now spraying their infinite rose water inside. Here we go. Race stewards are now opening the doors. We have Eric Capri,
The
followed
winner.
by
Yes, the winner of the race, Eric Capri, joins the podium with his engineer Lion Guy and TDM Fan and Space Ghost. Space Ghost finishing P2, TDM Fan P3, and they're enjoying the rose water. Or champagne.
really fantastic. That was quite amazing. And it's celebration time here in Suwon. Oh wow, I definitely enjoy this race. And the weather may not be the loveliest weather, but you gotta appreciate the breeze and slight rain. We got the care. That care's right here.
Yes, he is. I believe he was an engineer for KR.
People be spraying stuff now.
Yeah, they are. They're on the podium spray and stuff.
Ah, this is so great. A fantastic end to the Korean Grand Prix, and now we're seeing a lot of Rosewater. And I think the care is actually singing here. Who let the dogs out?
Wow. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this race, make sure to click that like button. We're at 60
Oh
likes, and I believe
yes.
a lot of you still haven't clicked the like button. And if you're not subscribed already, subscribe to the Ion channel. We need to get to 3,000 subscribers ASAP.
Oh,
But yeah,
let's go
thank you.
do this, people. We need your subs.
Yeah, thank you to all our subscribers, by the way, and supporting the channel. Of course, that's what keeps the league going and people motivated to work on it. But yeah, thank you everyone who's liking. We are at 63 likes now, so 3 people have just liked the stream. Nice, thank you guys.
63. And actually, a fun fact: 63 is George Russell's number for Formula
yeah.
One.
Space Ghost getting P2 on the podium, of course. Congratulations to all the teams who scored points, who did well. I'm very happy for TDM fan. Amazing drive, amazing strategy. KR winning the race again, probably scoring the most points. And this weekend as well. I mean, if you have 4 cars, you're probably scoring the most points anyways. But yeah, probably scoring the most in each team as well. But yeah.
Amazing.
Mm-mm-mm. This was a fun race indeed.
Oh yes, indeed, man.
But
And
yeah,
now
if you
we're
guys
gonna be
enjoy,
waiting for X-Bow.
yeah, we have X-Bow or Crossbow just after this. So if you guys enjoy GT3, you should stay tuned for X-Bow as well. The lap times for qualifying are gonna be as close as they were as the lap times that were in GT3 qualifying as well. So the Expo cars are very fun to watch and even more fun to drive. I've had my fair share of pre-practice in
Aha!
them.
That's great. Tell us about it, Vexelan.
I mean, I drove them earlier today and I cut the whole track to get the fastest lap. But yeah, enough of that. By the way, thank
Oh
you to all
wow.
our members who are who bought the membership to the channel. Of course, if you're interested in that, make sure to buy the membership. You get an exclusive role in the Discord channel. You get exclusive videos before other people, especially highlights, for example. You get sneak peeks of stuff that's coming up soon, and yeah, a lot of cool stuff.
Oh, we have some music going on.
Yeah, I believe we have some music. I hope it's not copyright. Last thing we need is a copyright strike.
Oh no, they're playing all this fire beats, and the next morning they receive an email. Oh, your channel has been broke.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, it's celebration time for Korea as we end the Korean Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen, and the entirety of the Ion Racing community. This is such an amazing event. My name is Arceus, Ion GT3 commentator, and I'm joined by
Thanks, Alan. And yeah, we'll see you guys next